We are witnessing dev activity on Hedera absolutely explode. This is very exciting to see because number one, it really confirms that there is a lot of building happening behind Hedera. Number two, it means that the ecosystem is planning to expand in a very huge way. And also number three, Hedera is now at the top of the list alongside some of the biggest players in this space for core developers, which means Hedera is on track to just be as big as some of these other projects. Now, as we do think about that, let's actually think about how big some of these other projects are by just taking a look at this list. Now, number one, we have the latest Hedera HBAR ranks number 2 in core protocol developer activity among all layer 1s. Chainlink has been ranked top 3 in core developer activity since February of 2025. And this is all from Token Terminal. Here we could actually see it as of the 23rd. This is the week from Monday, June 23rd. Ethereum was number 1. MetaMask, which is one of the biggest wallets in this space, was number 2. And then Hedera was number 3. Hedera actually beat Chainlink, Internet Computer, OP, Cardano, Polkadot, Kusama, and Cosmos. This is crazy. Like I said, it shows us how big Hedera is becoming and how active everything is behind the scenes. Now, on top of this, we also have over here from Hedera Foundation, as per Token Terminal, Hedera has the 3rd largest core developer pool in Web3. And we could actually see Hedera in that dark purple on this list, competing alongside some of these other huge projects. Now, I did go ahead and open up Token Terminal actually, just to kind of look at a few things. I actually wanted to look at the code commits because this is where we could actually see, code that's being committed to, specific repositories on GitHub, aka, specific projects that are being built out on Hedera. And we can actually see that there's 11.6K commits in the last 365 days. Now, this has not been getting tracked, for a whole year, I don't think, or maybe it actually has. So from Q2 of April to now, we could see that there has been 11.6K overall commits on Hedera. And in comparison to actual layer 1 blockchains, which made up 300 and almost 40,000 in the last 365 days, the market share just from Hedera alone is 3.4%, which is very significant. Now, when it comes to the code commits for blockchains layer 1s in the last 365 days, Hedera does rank at number 9. Now, this is actually not bad considering the fact that Ethereum ranks at number 6 at about 14.5K. So again, HBAR is actually right in line with Ethereum. ADA was about 12.8K, but Hedera is also beating Avalanche, Polkadot, Kusama, and Genesis. So, overall, this is actually very, very exciting to see, and it's showing us that Hedera is competing with the top of this is like the top of the projects, right? In terms of like the top 100, yeah, Hedera is right in line with them. And we also have over here the core developers in the last 365 days. Now we can go all time as well and just really kind of see how crazy this has been. And the same goes even for commits. I don't know if, commits have been on a pretty good streak here since going all the way back to, 2020, for an example, if we really want to look at it like that. Or we could even just go quarterly and see on how of an uptrend core commits have been, but also core developers in terms of like the quarterly. We could also see this, right? So I actually have been noticing this since going all the way back to about 2023. I've been putting a spotlight on the developer side of Hedera for a bit of time now because we started to really kind of notice how crazy the dev activity on Hedera has been when DeFi Llama started to track it. Now, since then, DeFi Llama has stopped tracking dev activity in general, but if we actually look at this thing on the monthly, on just the all-time, we could see that this is at an all-time high in terms of core developers. This has been increasing throughout the entire year of 2025, but also it's been increasing since going all the way back to like 2023 and 2022. This is also why I said that even during the bear market, because here we have the bear market, right? Even during the bear market, Hedera was making so much noise, and it's because of the dev activity. This is why we see so much like news around Hedera and so many huge updates. We also have a market share of 6.1% out of all blockchain layer 1 core developers, which is about 1.8K. And we can see that on the list on the right side as well. This is third. This is the latest. So again, Hedera is number 3 next to ICP and also Ethereum. It's beating almost every single major project in the space outside of ETH and also Internet Computer. Again, this is telling us how big Hedera is becoming and how much is being built on Hedera. But it's also, very clear with the AI studio that recently launched, the tokenization studio that recently launched, and also even the stablecoin studio that recently launched. Hedera is not only seeing core developer side from the retail side, from like the actual devs that are, jumping over to Hedera to actually build, but also even from the core dev team, which is launching and building some significant things like the stablecoin studio, the tokenization studio, and the AI studio, which are core pieces for Hedera. These are actually accelerating more development on Hedera, especially like the AI studio, which is, this is the side where you could actually build AI agents. And then, of course, tokenization studio is pretty self-explanatory, and same with the stablecoin studio. But these are accelerating and ultimately they're starting that big push on, core development around key pieces for the Web3 future. I mean, we already know how big stablecoins and tokenization are, but these enable all of that on Hedera. Now, outside of that, let's actually take a quick look at all of the recent updates. Like when we think about how big Hedera has been, we're seeing so many like big announcements almost every single day of more and more things being added to the network and more core projects also launching new things. I mean, the expansions, the announcements that we saw in just the last week alone in the last week of June has just been insane. In 7 days, I think that we saw a total of over like 20 plus announcements alone, which is crazy to me. It shows us just how active the Hedera team is. Now, in terms of the actual projects around Hedera, and I'm talking more so about the retail side, we also continue to see more and more retail projects launching more things, building new things, which we'll go over. But a lot of this is right on par with the grants and also the accelerator programs, which are on Hedera. Hedera Foundation, I can't see it on their new website, but they used to have a thing where you could actually get funding. They still have that. Like if you actually submit a proposal to the Hedera Foundation for their funding, this will actually accelerate project development and also really kind of push for some projects to actually be a part of the ecosystem. But outside of that, there used to be accelerator programs on the Hedera Foundation around specific things like gaming and DeFi and things like that. But already we have 6 big accelerator programs tied to Hedera to actually accelerate the ecosystem. This is also why we have so many use cases on Hedera. But one thing that I think everyone is questioning is, when are we going to see all of this really matter? And the big answer for that is once we start to see crypto go mainstream. And I think that we're getting there very, very fast now with how open the US market has been, but also with regulations being on the cusp of getting fully passed. I think all of the building, all of the projects that we have here, I think that it's crucial to focus on, because I do think that it is going to really end up, having Hedera become a very big project that's recognized almost everywhere. I think Hedera has such a massive ecosystem and it just continues to grow. And that's why, looking at the dev activity is so important, especially, at a time where we do see so many huge events going on around Hedera, like for example, the Hedera AI push, which was happening for weeks on end. This was huge for top projects that actually wanted to tap into Hedera. And this is all based around AI. And this was actually hosted by Generation Infinity. And it was huge for Hedera. It actually grew the ecosystem. It provided us with a lot of insights on how the AI side of Hedera is also growing. It also welcomed in the AI studio, which was huge. So this was definitely a huge success, and it definitely did also align with all of the dev activity. On top of that, projects from the space that are core pieces, like even the NFT lending marketplaces like DCENT have also been introducing new things like Dreamforge, which is creating and launching your NFT collection on Hedera. This actually, brings it all to life. We could actually see this, create NFTs on Hedera with DCENT Dreamforge, which is a powerful platform for creating NFT collections and deploying HBAR NFTs on Hedera. Take advantage of Hedera low fees, fast transactions, and eco-friendly network to bring your NFT projects to life. And a lot of this is all, new developed things. Like, this was originally just an NFT marketplace. Well, now it started to expand into something much bigger. And the same goes for a few things. Even SaucerSwap, for an example. We actually know that SaucerSwap right now is getting a huge upgrade. They've been actually rebuilding the entire DEX, which is very exciting. And I can't wait to see what this actually looks like. We actually have here, so a few weeks ago, we started from scratch, not just a UI facelift or mobile port. This is new architecture, real-time pricing, redesigned UX, and a mobile app built for where DeFi is going. This is what I love to hear. From projects like SaucerSwap that have been very successful ever since their launch, they are now upgrading everything. And we could actually see that just by this sort of image right here. I mean, this is showing us what's coming. And, I'm very excited about this because, again, when we think about that dev activity, we know it's not bots. We know it's not just, random stuff happening on the network. We know that it's actually legitimate projects that have been absolutely killing the game, expanding and building even more. It's very similar to what we're hearing about from projects like even Hashpack, right? Hashpack just recently released a massive update to their EVM side. Again, this is all dev activity. This is all building happening behind the scenes from crucial pieces. Even Bonzo Finance is also building more things and, bringing in Bonzo Vaults. This is more things happening around, passive income opportunities through automated yield generation. So we love to see this. And also talking more so about Hashpack, we also know that Hashpack recently integrated Coinbase on-ramp, which this is huge. This is with one of the biggest exchanges in this space, which means instant fiat to HBAR inside the app, no centralized exchange, no friction, all within, of course, Hashpack, which we love to see. So again, all of these big moves are happening, and it's to support the ecosystem even more and expand the ecosystem, expand HBAR's overall market opportunity as well and offering. But also, like, even some of these core projects that have been around for years, like Kabila, for an example. Kabila is a huge project. I love the team behind this project. I've been following them for a while. They are constantly working. They're constantly pushing more and more updates. This one was actually the public Kabila SDK. It's live now. Any third-party project or platform can easily integrate Kabila's core features, which we already know what the core features are. This is all based around like NFTs and a few other things as well. They even have a referral platform on their project as well. So, things like this is very exciting to see. And we also have over here, we're very excited to release Kabila Wallet v2.2.13. This was on June 10th. Like I said, it's not just DeFi projects or, DEXs that are also expanding. It's even the NFT side with CentX and Kabila. The entire ecosystem around Hedera just continues to evolve, continues to make noise, continues to build and develop. So even during, the tough times, even when we start to see, the light fade a little bit, even during the bear market, the worst time of the entire crypto market, we still see Hedera dev activity going crazy. And it's proof, even over here, going back to, 2022, that's when it erupted. That's when, during this time where nobody cared about crypto, Hedera just continued to make a ton of noise. This is why I've always stated that Hedera, one day, everyone's going to wake up to see how big Hedera actually is. I can't wait for that day because we have been talking about Hedera for so long. We've been doing research on Hedera for so long. And no, I'm not paid by anyone. I'm not in conversation with any of the Hedera team members at all. I just think that this is going to be one of the most successful projects simply because of the dev activity, what we're seeing from Hedera, the overall, compliance side, working with some of these huge organizations and even regulatory bodies. I mean, Hedera is absolutely next level. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, Nick, thanks for watching. Peace out.